It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome to the program today. Lots to cover. In the first segment, we're going to be talking real estate. We do this about once a month with the folks from Real Estate Market Pros. And today, David James gets to come in and talk with us again. David, it's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping in.
Pleasure, Todd. Thank you for having me.
And as we always, we're going to take a look at some of the market numbers, where things really are at. And then we're going to get into some things about the value of your home, especially if you're starting to think about selling it or maybe you're buying somebody's house. So first of all, let's get a bit of a market update. What's it looking like out there these days? It's a crazy world with the economy and wars and everything else happening.
It is. There's a lot of factors affecting real estate currently. Yeah. Overall, the market's still pretty strong. We're a little bit lower than last year. Sequim currently average sales price for April, for example, was $542. That's down a little bit from last year. We were at $565 last year, so we've got about 4% lower we're selling for right now in Sequim. Mm-hmm. Port Angeles stayed about the same year over year at around $420. The county as a whole, though, has come up a little in value, about a 5% increase year over year.
Now that's interesting. Is that surprising to you in any sense, given what's going on?
Not really. There's a lot of factors that affect it. More housing availability, perhaps with some projects being finished here or there. But that also brings up a pretty good point. My stats that I'm giving to you are based off Northwest MLS, and I know May's talked about this at length before, how we have multiple MLSs out here, and so there's multiple venues for information, for data, and also a lot of factors that affect that data and kind of the quality of the information you're getting. So taking that into consideration, all this is from Northwest MLS. A lot of agents out here still only will post on the Olympic listing service, so this won't be fully inclusive, but these numbers are probably most of the listings make it onto Northwest MLS.
Got it. All right. Yeah. And so, depending on your pool size, you're going to get some different results maybe.
And so we're always going to have a little bit of variation depending where you get your data sourced.
Right. So Sequim has gone down in price a bit,
it has.
Which that's got to be a first in a long time, right?
Yeah, kind of. We're definitely seeing a little bit of a dip from that 2021 and 2022. And this is probably a little bit harder of a dip than we've seen, for sure.
How much of that is some lower priced properties coming online finally? We've got some developments that have come online. People have been buying into those. Does that affect the kind of the overall price as well?
It could potentially. I don't think we're seeing that quite yet.
Okay, so this is just on the market then. This isn't really a flood of quote unquote affordable housing coming online down in Sequim.
I would love to say it is a flood of affordable housing. I don't believe that's the reality, though. I think kind of nationally we're seeing a little bit of a dip in prices, generally about 2% from last year over year. In
the bigger picture, though, that's not a lot, right? I mean, that's not necessarily a boom or a bust.
Many people consider it probably a good thing. I think the rapid uptick in values that we saw as a result of COVID are not healthy or sustainable, and so this kind of is a little bit of a evening out from that, I think.
All right, so let's talk about kind of how you're seeing the market now. This time of year, we're into spring. Tends to be kind of the shopper's market. This is the time of year people get out and start thinking about maybe buying a house.
Yeah.
Are we seeing it still? And considering what's happening, I know a lot of people are like, I have no idea what mortgage rates are going to do. One day they're way up, one day they're way down. And I'm not exaggerating that either.
Rates are kind of all over the place. So, I mean, it's kind of like everything. The news is up one day and down, and the rates, everything. But houses are still selling. We're still seeing quite a few houses on the market. Total homes for sale is up a little bit, actually across the board, up probably 18 to 20%. That's total homes for sale. New listings are down a touch. So I think the news does kind of affect people.
So maybe some people holding off, thinking this might, if we wait a few bit, maybe we go for fall instead of spring.
I think as a real estate agent, we were all hoping that the market would just kind of explode this year and come back to life. And we've definitely seen it subdued a little bit the last couple years. So we're not really seeing that rebirth this year. We're still just kind of holding steady, though. But prices are, we're still selling pretty good.
I was going to say, I mean, even what you're just saying there, I can't say this is a seller's market or a buyer's market per se, right?
It's not.
Not
It's a
changed
really,
one direction or another.
It's a beautifully balanced market, I'd say, right now. Houses are selling for right about 99% of asking price.
Okay.
So average days on market is right around a month, maybe a hair under. So it's, houses are still moving pretty well.
That's actually pretty good. I mean, a month for real estate to move, most markets would say that's a great,
absolutely.
great timeline.
It is. It is. I mean,
Okay.
we've seen some times in the past where we're well over a month for average days on market, where houses are selling for 95% of asking. So this is great.
So the question, I guess, as a pro, are you just getting good at having your clients pick the right price?
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And that a comparative market analysis, or a CMA, is what a real estate agent would use to determine that price. And the way that we come up with that is looking at sales that are comparable, both in location, type of house, style of house, finishes, as similar of a house as we can, which is a little bit trickier than in Sequim and Port Angeles, areas where we don't have a lot of tract housing where everything's the same. So it takes a little bit of work and digging through. A lot of times it'll take a half day to a day to really determine the value of a house.
So in a place like the North Peninsula, you have a bit tougher job in helping get someone set on a price than maybe someone in Seattle or a bigger market, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you can look at a big neighborhood that has hundreds and hundreds of homes, that gives you a lot better basis to form your opinion of value off of. But we still, our goal is to get the maximum value for our sellers, but also do it in a timely manner. So,
well, talk about that, because that's an important thing, because I think that's a discussion you need to have with someone selling a property.
It is.
They may think we're going to get this much money for it.
Absolutely.
You may come back and say, well, you can ask for that, and you might get it, but you might have to wait quite a while to get that.
Exactly.
And time is money.
It is, very much. Every month that you pay that mortgage, that's money you could have been saving. So that's definitely a consideration.
So how do you
something we
approach
look
somebody
at.
when to talk them down on price a little when they're getting ready to list? That's a tough discussion.
It is. It can be. We rely on the data a lot, and unfortunately, there's a lot of houses that are on the market have been on the market for 100 plus, 150, 200 days. I saw one today that was almost a year, and so I don't think anybody puts their house on the market to have it sit on the market. They put it on to sell it.
Unless you're in a unique circumstance. There are some people that they're fine. I mean, maybe they aren't paying a mortgage on it. They're just looking to sell it, and I'm not. It can sit there as long as it needs to.
Well, and you'll definitely see those houses. I mean, they're on the market, and they've been there a while. But
that's not the type of houses mostly that are being sold, right?
No,
yeah,
generally.
I mean, if you were to take a look at what the typical seller out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the average days on market being in the 20s or less shows that most people are pricing their house to sell.
Right.
And I think we're at a good place in the market right now. There's a good mix of inventory. There's a lot of buyers out there, and there's plenty of room for more listings. I know I've got a handful of buyers that don't have the perfect house on the market for them right now, so they're still looking.
Right. That was my next question. When your phone rings, what are people looking for right now?
It's a wide smattering. Everything from what's the cheapest house on the market to we've got plenty of people looking for land, plenty of people looking for just turnkey, ready-to-live-in houses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's not skirt around the politics of things right now. Certainly the tax stuff has gotten a lot of people talking about, there's an exodus out of Washington. Sounds like maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, you obviously have some people still interested in moving into state. Are you?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We have more buyers than we have sellers. Definitely. Right. I talk to people every day who are looking to move into the area. I also talk to people every day who are looking to move out, but but I don't think quite as many. There's definitely people relocating. Some are work, some are beliefs, politics, whatever. But there's just tons of people coming into the area still.
Interesting.
It's a great area, and the secret's out.
And they're looking for all kinds of properties, as you just pointed out. Not necessarily a high-end one sometimes. I guess maybe some are, but others are just looking for something to get into the market.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, for example, in Sequim, in April, the lowest house was sold was around $100,000. The highest was about $1.6 million.
All
so
right.
And there's plenty in between.
I have to ask, where's a $100,000 house in Sequim these days? There's one. Obviously, there was one that sold. So
that one in particular was just a manufactured leased land, so it doesn't really count.
Still,
yeah,
it's a number. I think people hear that and go, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. All right, this time of year, what's your advice for folks if you're thinking about selling, thinking about buying? What's your quick advice for us?
If you're thinking about selling, one tip that we like to do is plan everything and then reverse engineer it. So, if you want to be sold and moved to the new place by July, then work it back from there. Figure out how much time. Reach out to us, and we can help you with that process.
That's an interesting way to approach it. I don't think of it that way necessarily. I think we always think, got to sell it first before I can do what I want to do next.
Exactly. Well, if you look at that goal date that you would love to be moved by, and then break it down, it's going to take a week for photos. It's going to take a couple weeks to get the house cleaned and ready, staged if you're doing that. It'll take you a couple weeks to pack and get moved or prepared for listing. So
what are you telling buyers if they're calling you? They've got an interest. They want to kick some tires around here. What's your advice to them right now?
Absolutely. We have, like I said, quite a few buyers we're working with, and we're helping them find deals. I've got a couple buyers that we have under contract significantly under asking, and I've got a couple that made offers on houses that are significantly over asking. So
interesting. Okay.
It's all about pricing strategy.
So David, everything you've told us today is just kind of like, it's a little bit of everything right now in the market, pretty much. You're not up, you're not down, you're not way below, or you're not way high on prices. So
houses, real estate is selling. And selling pretty well.
All right. Well, sometimes I know in May and I have talked about this, the go-go days where it was going, so you kind of like it when it slows just a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can catch your breath, maybe.
We're at a pretty good point in the market. I don't think it's very healthy for every seller loves it when the market goes crazy and you get way over asking, but it's not healthy long term for the market, and affordability continues to be an issue. So,
and I've always said, when it goes up quick, it can come down quick too, right? It's the old laws of physics count in markets sometimes too, don't they? Mm-hmm. All right, David James is a super pro with the Real Estate Market Pros. Works with May Graves as well, who we have on once a month to talk about what's going on in the markets. How do we get a hold of you? You may have just enticed someone to sell or buy.
Hopefully. It's a great time right now. Reach out to us. My number is 360-912-3315.
All right. And I got it down here as well if you want to talk with David. And he's great about talking about staging and things like that, things to think about that might make your home sell a little bit faster, too.
Absolutely. Our goal is to sell your house as quickly as possible and get you maximum dollar.
All right. Thanks for stopping in, as always. It's great to talk to you.
Thanks for
David
having me.
James there. And we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about something that's coming back to our area in just a couple of weeks, and that's a big halibut fishing tournament, derby, that we'll chat about what the PA Salmon Club's got brewed up for that when we return right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.